There's a specific kind of person who rarely wins the room. They don't speak first. They don't laugh the loudest. They're not the one cracking jokes at the table or dominating every meeting. For a long time, the world treated that as a problem. Be more social. Come out of your shell. Stop overthinking, just talk. But here's what almost nobody tells you. The people who win in the long game, careers, relationships, life, are rarely the loudest ones in the room. They're the ones who have been watching, thinking, quietly building while everyone else was busy performing. This audio is about that advantage, the advantage most introverts have and don't even realize they're sitting on. And no, this is not cheap self-help. It's not about embracing who you are in a poster quote kind of way. It's about something real, something that shows up in data, in history, and probably in your own life, if you know where to look. So let's look. We live in what Susan Cain called the extrovert ideal, the cultural belief that the best way to be is outgoing, assertive, and comfortable in the spotlight. Schools reward participation, offices reward confidence, social media rewards performance. If you're the kind of person who thinks before you speak, who needs time alone to recharge, who finds small talk exhausting and deep conversation energizing, the system was not built for you. Most introverts spend the first half of their lives trying to fix that. They force themselves into rooms they don't want to be in. They fake enthusiasm they don't feel. They perform a version of themselves that drains them just to keep up appearances. But systems have a blind spot. They measure short-term performance very well. They measure long-term depth very badly. And in the long game, the math changes completely. A Harvard study in 2018 found that introverted leaders outperformed extroverted ones in complex problem-solving environments, especially when the team already had strong initiative. Why? Because they listened more. They interrupted less. They made space for better ideas instead of forcing only their own. That's not weakness. That's skill. Rare skill. And that's only one piece of the story. Introversion is not just about being quiet. It's about where your energy comes from and what you tend to do with it. Introverts, on average, spend more time in internal processing, more time thinking through decisions before acting, more time in what psychologists call deep work, sustained focus on a single, difficult task. Cal Newport wrote an entire book about deep work. He calls it the skill of the century. Introverts have been practicing it their whole lives without anyone calling it a skill. People just said they were in their head too much. Turns out, being in your head is exactly where the best thinking happens. Part 2. 4 real advantages. Advantage number 1. Introverts observe more than they react. In high-stakes environments, poker tables, negotiation rooms, job interviews, the person who wins is rarely the one who reacts the fastest. It's the one who noticed what everyone else missed while they were busy talking. Introverts are trained observers by necessity. When you're not the one speaking, you're watching. Watching teaches you things that speaking never does. You notice when someone says yes, but their body says no. You spot a pattern in a conversation several turns before anyone else does. You remember what people actually said, not what they wish they had said. That's information, and over time, information becomes an enormous edge. Advantage number 2. Introverts think before they speak. There is a difference between saying a lot and saying something. Most people confuse volume with value. Introverts tend to speak less, but when they do, they've already stress-tested the idea inside their own head. They've run the argument through internal checks before exposing it to the world. This is why introverts are often seen as more trustworthy over time. Their words have consistency. They don't contradict themselves every 5 minutes. They don't fill silence with noise. Trust, built slowly and consistently, is one of the most durable currencies that exists.
Advantage number 3. Depth over breadth. Most people maintain many shallow relationships. They know a lot of people. They're known by a lot of people. But they are rarely known deeply by anyone. Introverts tend to go the other direction. Fewer connections, much deeper ones. Research on social capital keeps showing the same thing. It's the depth of connection, not the volume, that predicts things like career support, mental resilience, and long-term happiness. One person who truly knows you, believes in you, and will go out of their way for you is worth 50 casual acquaintances who would scroll past your struggle without blinking. Advantage number 4. Discomfort with performance leads to authenticity. We live in an age where everyone is performing, optimizing, presenting the best lit version of themselves. People are exhausted by it. They can feel the performance. They're hungry for something real. Introverts, who never liked performing in the first place, are accidentally well-positioned for this moment. They never learned to fake it the way extroverts were rewarded to. Their honesty feels refreshing. Their pauses feel thoughtful. Their discomfort with small talk feels, to the right people, like a signal that real conversation might be possible. In a world of noise, being genuinely quiet is a signal, a strong one. There's a danger, though. Introversion can become a cage. Some introverts use their nature as an excuse, not to protect their energy, but to avoid growth, to dodge uncomfortable conversations, to opt out of visibility that would actually help them. There's a real difference between strategic withdrawal and chronic avoidance. Strategic withdrawal sounds like, I'm going to skip this party because I need energy for the pitch on Monday. Chronic avoidance sounds like, I'm going to skip every difficult conversation because I'm an introvert and that's just how I work. One is wisdom. One is fear wearing a personality label. The people who actually win the long game are not the ones who stay perfectly inside their comfort zone. They're the ones who know exactly where their edge is and push it precisely when it matters. History is full of introverts who changed the world, not by becoming extroverts, but by using introversion as a tool. Darwin spent years alone, obsessively developing a theory before saying a single public word about it. He wasn't networking, he was building. Rosa Parks wasn't loud. She was tired, and she was certain. That quiet certainty became one of the most powerful acts of the 20th century. Elon Musk is called a visionary speaker, but people who work closely with him describe someone who disappears into technical problems, someone whose real work happens in isolation, not in meetings. The pattern isn't introversion as passivity, it's introversion as fuel. Focus and conviction, deployed at the right moment. So what does this look like, practically, for you? Stop apologizing for your pace. Your process is not a flaw, it's infrastructure. The slower you think it through, the more durable the result. Protect your energy aggressively, not because the world doesn't deserve it, but because wasting it on performance leaves nothing for creation. Choose visibility carefully. Not often, but strategically. Know when your silence is powerful, and when your voice in the room would change everything. Think of bamboo and oak. Bamboo grows fast, visibly fast. It shoots up, grabs attention, fills space. An oak tree looks like it's doing nothing for years. It's putting down roots, building density, preparing for a lifespan that makes bamboo look like a footnote. Most introverts are oak trees in a world obsessed with bamboo. They spend years feeling behind, when they're actually building something bamboo can't compete with. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not less. You are playing a game most people don't have the patience to play, and the scoring starts much later than they think. The world will keep rewarding loud. That's not changing. But the things that actually last, the work, the relationships, the ideas that survive decades, were almost never built in a crowd. They were built quietly, by people who couldn't stop thinking about the thing they were building. That's your advantage. It always was. You just needed someone to point it out.